it's not about human doing, it's about human being.
Yeah.
And just, struggling with the doing part, doing enough. Am I doing this right? What should I be doing? And it's more about how can I be?
So we considered talking about struggle. And
It's one of my favorite topics.
yeah, and how it can really serve us and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. And these are the stories that make us who we are and
Yeah.
give us grit. And when things are really hard, it's when you reassess. And in life, I feel like there are always storms for everybody. No free passes. Everybody has stuff.
My mom always said that life is the great equalizer.
Yes, I love that.
Because I think as like a young adult, I always struggled with comparison and thinking about, well, this person's life looks this way and this person's life looks this way, and I'm not achieving that level of success, or I'm not hitting that milestone. And I know that a lot of that for me was my own insecurity about who I was. But she was always so quick to say, life is the great equalizer.
It's such a good way to explain it to somebody.
It is, and especially like to teenagers or young adults who are struggling with identity, or, when they will arrive in life. And as you've said before, it's not about human doing, it's about human being.
Yeah.
And just, struggling with the doing part, doing enough. Am I doing this right? What should I be doing? And it's more about how can I be? How can I be present? How can I be in gratitude? How can I be in grace for myself and for other people?
Yeah.
And your struggles have taught me so much, and I'm sure that watching mine have taught you so much.
It's so true. And it's because we're really honest and vulnerable with each other.
Yeah.
And are willing to really say to each other how hard it is.
Yeah.
And what's going on with us, and how we're not okay all the time.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
I remember when I came out to you and I wrote you an email.
And you started with, I need to talk to you.
Which, by the way, we wouldn't.
Don't ever start
We should
with
never
that.
do that. But I remember feeling such a huge weight off my shoulders to tell all these important people in my life this truth about myself, and how physically different I felt after that.
Yeah.
And how much more alive, and how I felt more energy and more vitality in speaking my truth and using my voice, and how that struggle and everything that led up to it, I knew in that moment I was supposed to go through that.
Yeah.
So I
It
could
was
learn
so
my voice.
hard for you.
Yeah.
I remember you saying, I am so anxious to tell you this. And I was like, why? Really? People don't realize when you're hiding something like that,
Yeah.
or holding on to something closely to your heart and not putting it out into the world, how much anxiety that can
Yeah.
produce for you, and how much pain. And, not living in your truth is
Yeah.
really hard. And, you just were going through your life, and there was no other way to do it, right?
Yeah.
But
Well, we don't know how to do this.
no,
We don't know
there's
how.
no roadmap.
Yeah, and it's all about bumbling along and apologizing when needed, and then also just saying, here I am in my imperfect humanity. And I think that's a big part of moving towards health every day too.
I do too. I think that so many people say, I feel so sad, Sarah, or I feel so angry. Like,
Yeah.
can you help me get rid of that?
Oh yeah. Yes.
And I say, you know what? You're going to have to walk through the fire first.
Yeah.
I need you to go home and lay on your bed and cry.
Yeah.
Because what you're telling me sucks.
Yeah.
You're right. It's really hard.
It's hard.
You're in a storm.
Yeah.
You are struggling. Your life is not easy. You just got handed something really difficult.
Yeah.
But feeling it and existing in those feelings, those negatively perceived hard feelings of anger or grief or loneliness or fear, you have to go there.
Yeah.
In order to
Lean
get
into
to
it.
the other side. You have to lean into it. And if you don't, it's not going to serve you. You're going to feel anxious. There'll be some underlying, emotional unrest, and it gets stored in our bodies. We see a lot of that
Disharmony.
in our clinic, where people will work on somebody's shoulders and they start crying and say, I feel like I'm 5 years old.
Yeah. I'm having an emotional release. I don't know why I'm crying. I'm like, that's okay. It's in your
good.
shoulders.
Yeah, we're supposed to feel things.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to run away from these hard things. You just have to be wherever you are.
Yeah.
And, take the time and then slowly reassess and figure out how you're going to make it okay for yourself. Because for some people, their struggles don't go away.
Yeah.
And they still have to be okay every single day.
Yeah. You can't always change your circumstances, but you can change your perception around those circumstances.
How you deal with it, your behaviors, your reactions. Absolutely.
Yeah.